From the moment she strutted onto the rap battlefield, Nicki Minaj made it clear she wasn't just here to entertain. She was here to dominate, dissect, and devour. Her artistry is only half the story. The other half is a psychological chess game masked in Barbie pink and battle bars. Behind the lashes and latex is a mind constantly scanning for threats, reading shade into silence, and striking before the first syllable drops. To understand why she clashes with SZA, TDE, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Jay-Z, Roc Nation, and seemingly half the industry, we're going beneath the lace front and into the psyche. Before the Barbs get their $3 Walmart panties in a bunch because we keep Nicki's name in our mouths. Don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. Picture an elite athlete who's been sprinting for years. Exhaustion sets in, vulnerability creeps up, and that's when feuds morph from strategic moves to emotional flashpoints.
Now, I don't know where the hell you going with this, bestie, but I'm all ears. I'm all ears, girl.
Nicki's latest sparring match erupted when she made some allegations against SZA's manager and Top Dog Entertainment label president, Terrence Punch Henderson. SZA then tweeted, "Mercury retrograde. Don't take the bait, LOL, silly goose." And of course, Nicki took it as a diss. She proceeded to mock SZA's voice and said she sounded like a dead dog.
No, the hell she didn't say that. Nicki is crazy as
Nicki's reaction points directly to hostile attribution bias, also known as the tendency to interpret ambiguous comments as personal attacks. In other words, if you breathe, Nicki's gonna give you a side eye. This is far from being random. It's a survival tactic. Years in the spotlight have sharpened Nicki's radar, turning every tweet, rival, or industry slight into a perceived threat. When SZA mentions Mercury retrograde, Black Twitter might laugh, while all Nicki can hear is betrayal. But why choose war when she can peacefully coexist with other entertainers? Well, because for Nicki, beef isn't just a side dish. It's her main coping mechanism. Think of it as emotional CrossFit. Every perceived slight is a chance to lift her ego back into place. Underneath the pink wigs and punchlines lies a classic case of narcissistic injury, also known as a psychological bruising that happens when someone pokes the carefully polished self-image. One tweet, one snub, one passive-aggressive congrats, and boom, Nicki's not just annoyed, she's activated. Nicki's not just fighting other artists, she's sparring with her own ghosts. Growing up in a volatile household with a father who struggled with addiction, emotional safety wasn't a given. She learned early that power meant survival and silence was a trap. So she made noise that was loud, glamorous, and poetic. But beneath that volume is a girl who still doesn't trust the applause. We can't ignore the possibility that she feels the ground shifting beneath her stilettos as younger artists soak up the spotlight that Nicki was once in. Case in point, her feud with Cardi B. Bad blood between the two rappers began when Nicki complained that Cardi hadn't been adequately grateful that Nicki allowed her to be included on her 2017 song collaboration Motorsport with Migos. Their rivalry came to a head in 2018. You remember that New York Fashion Week meltdown, right? Well, in case you forgot, Cardi accused Nicki of talking about her daughter, Culture, an accusation that Nicki denied on her Beats One radio show. Nonetheless, Cardi threw a shoe at Nicki during the Harper's Bazaar Fashion Week party.
What in the George W. Bush is going on here? Not the shoe, Jesus.
Now let's talk social comparison theory and its evil twin, relative deprivation. Two psychological forces that flow through Nicki like a bowel movement. Social comparison theory says we measure ourselves not in isolation, but in reflection. Relative deprivation takes it further by stating when someone else shines while you feel overlooked, it feels like robbery. To someone like Nicki, her self-concept is anchored in dominance. And when you build your identity on being undisputed, every new queen in the rap game is like receiving an emotional eviction notice. That's the dark twist of social comparison. It makes you forget your own greatness. Because when you're wired like Nicki, another woman's rise feels like your fall, even if you're still standing. She was fighting to be remembered in a room that suddenly had another woman taking selfies on her throne. But don't get it twisted, Nicki has had issues with industry veterans also, including Lil' Kim. When Nicki released her mixtape, Playtime Is Over, in 2007, everybody noticed her cover looked like Lil' Kim's 1996 debut album, Hardcore. Immediately, Kim claimed Nicki was biting her style without showing her love. Speaking to Angie Martinez in 2010, Nicki said Kim had really jumped out the window and needed to be careful who she picked fights with in the industry.
She just really jumped out the window. And you gotta be careful when you pick fights. And that's what I've learned in this business. You just never know. I think people get me mistaken with like a real Barbie. They forget where I'm from. And if I have to revert back, I can and I will. So don't play with me.
Ooh, I bet Kim was shaking in her boots. Said no one ever.
Nicki said she constantly showed Kim love, but if she didn't see it, that was just Kim's deep-rooted insecurity showing. Nicki added anytime Kim was in the news, it wasn't about her music, it was about her arguing with somebody.
Wait now, that sounds familiar. That sounds like you, Nicki.
Nicki recalled the first time they met at a Lil Wayne concert when Kim came to their dressing room. Nicki asked if they were good, and Kim assured her they were as they hugged and kissed. She claimed Kim asked to take a photo with her. Kim addressed the situation on Hot 97 by stating she believed Nicki wanted to be the only female rapper in the game. And then to add another layer to this mess, Kim has a tight relationship with Nicki's nemesis, Cardi B. Then there's the Roc Nation war, a lyrical vendetta dressed as a business gripe. On paper, it's about Jay-Z's empire, Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, and Roc Nation artist Megan Thee Stallion. But in Nicki's head, she doesn't see this as competition, she sees them all as conspirators. Her criticisms have been aired across various social media platforms, accusing Roc Nation and its affiliates of sabotage, manipulation, and financial disputes. And every time she sets her sights on a new target, she's using a tactic called triangulation to maintain control. Triangulation is when you pit person A against person B, and then you sit back and watch them duke it out. Nicki has perfected this. She unleashes her venom against a particular person or entity. Her barbs go to bat for her like emotional foot soldiers, and Nicki gets comfortable in her chair while she watches the tomfoolery unfold. At this point, some might even say that not only does she thrive in chaos, she feels at peace within the turmoil. If Nicki continues to spiral the way she has, the future of her career may not end the way she expects. Her music will always be there, but the public's appetite for conflict and spectacle will fade. The thrill of watching her wage war loses its novelty when the audience starts to suspect there's no war left to win. How long can she exist in the industry when she turns her peers into predators and critics into enemies? In the celebrity world, the real tragedy isn't in being forgotten. It's in being remembered for the wrong things. And if she doesn't change courses, she won't be remembered for her reign. Instead, she'll be known as the ruler who never knew how to dismount the throne with grace.